In this episode, I'm going to introduce you Xi Jinping's bottom line thinking, which is a principle, main principle in Xi Jinping's thoughts. And since Xi Jinping is a tyrannist and emperor in China, his thoughts is the core spirit, core instruction for all the activities, all the thinkings in CCP members, People's Liberation Army, and also to guide everything in CCP's national strategy and also their international strategy. So what is the bottom line thinking? And this is a word which was also used in other countries. However, when you talk about the bottom line thinking, usually it just means the bottom line, where is your bottom line? And that is the last thing you can accept. And based on that, you can make some decision to gain the benefits or to overcome the obstacle. However, this is different as Xi Jinping's definition. You have to know that although it sounds philosophy that can direct people's behaviors, the organization's activities, just to understand the risk, to understand your need, help you to guide to make the decision, to guide the activities. However, that is normal according to human thinking. We have to know Xi Jinping is a sociopath, and also Communist Party, Chinese Communist Party, is an anti-humanism party, which they never respect human lives. So that would be the fundamental difference when people talking about bottom line in China versus in the other countries, especially in the Western democratic countries. When you talk about bottom line, you have to have this bottom line, set it beyond the human lives. Based on the humanism, you respect the human lives. You respect the values, universal values like the democracy, freedom, and also love, of course. But for CCP, for Xi Jinping, they believe that humans are a kind of consumable resources, right? I have explained in the previous episode that China defined the citizens, Chinese citizens, as human man, means they can use their own citizens like the consumable man. So that's why when Xi Jinping, when CCP's military, which is People's Liberation Army, are making the decision, their bottom line is already beyond what you can expect, because they don't care about the humanism. So for them, the bottom line can be set based on a lot of sacrifice of human, especially their own citizens. What does it mean? In another word, the bottom line thinking is to prepare for the worst scenario. Then for US, for example, when you talk about the military, you care about every soldier, every military staff, because they are American. You have to be responsible for their lives. So that's why when you make the war plan or operations, your thinking is, how could I try my best to keep our soldiers alive and also even avoid of injury? And then based on this, how could I achieve the goal? But for Xi Jinping and CCP, that's totally different. Their thinking is, okay, how many people I have to go to the war field? If I have 1,000, then if I sacrifice the 1,000, and then I can win even 1 inch in the war field, that could be considered as acceptable and even a success. And if I have 100,000 Chinese people. I can send to the war battle against the enemy, like Americans. And if the whole 100,000 people dead, however, that make U.S. scary. Too many people died in front of you, and you even don't want to continue the war because you feel that is too much in the war, and you start to think about, let's make the deal. Maybe let's stop the war. Then that would be considered as a big triumph for CCP, because although it takes 100,000 people's life, but it brings CCP an opportunity to negotiate with the United States. This is not just an example. This kind of things have happened even back to 1950s in the North Korea War. At that time, Chairman Mao, of course, Xi Jinping worshipped Chairman Mao's thinking, and he had adopted quite a lot of Chairman Mao's thinking from his youngs and to even until now, and develop it based on this very cruel thinking. So Chairman Mao at that time, in 1950, November, he has secretly sent around 150,000 Chinese soldiers to North Korea. In the winter, in November, it was very cold. However, they sent these people to the front line, and to avoid of the notice from American side, CCP even didn't give these soldiers the coat for winter. Many of these soldiers are transferred from South China to North Korea secretly. So they wear very thin clothes, even only one piece of clothes. And then they were sent to the war field. Because CCP want to bring this kind of surprise attack against the US Army. So they sent these people there. They forced these people, these soldiers, to climb across the hills. And so in the morning, when the US military wake up, what they have seen is thousands, tens of thousands Chinese soldiers are frozen in the hill in front of them. These people, they even didn't fight. They just died like the statues because they're frozen. And this was so scary for American soldiers, because as the Americans, you were taught to respect life. And suddenly you see so many people like zombies, they were sent to the war field and also died in front of you, even without war, just because of the political missions, just to show you that there are enough Chinese soldiers to fight against you. And with CCP, Chairman Mao can waste a lot of human lives just to beat Americans. That is a kind of huge attacks for any human, including American soldiers, right? So this is a shock. Basically, they are shocked. And also, based on this, CCP has using over 50,000 soldiers to, using these soldiers' lives to exchange, around 18,000 American soldiers' lives and injury. And after that, CCP feel they turned this situation to a good, situation, because they managed to prolong the war, which was supposed to be end around Christmas of 1950. Because CCP has sent their military to North Korea to join this war, and then this war was extended for 3 more years. And after that, the Korean was divided into North Korean and South Korean, and North Korean become a puppet for the Soviet Union and also Communist China regimes. So in this case, is to tell you that for Chairman Mao, for CCP, and even for Xi Jinping, they believe, although they have so many people dead in the war, but turns out they can help to maintain the North Korea tyrannist regime under their control. So they feel this is worthy. And that's why their bottom line thinking in this case shows that they prefer to use quite a lot of hundreds of thousands of Chinese people's lives to beat American. Even their own death and injury are quite higher, triple and 5 times or more than Americans' loss. But finally, they have achieved the political goal. So this is their triumph. They win the battle. This is their thinking. And Xi Jinping really admires this kind of thinking. That's why he has also even promote one movie last year, which is named, which describes the story of the first battle, which they have sacrificed tens of thousands Chinese people in North Korea. It's called Changjin Lake because the battle happened in Changjin Lake, this place. And then they promote it even overseas. So in China, people are forced to watch this movie and write a review to show how you accept and also worship this kind of spirit, which is also anti-humanism, but you never use this word. You will praise it as great spirit, and which shows the bottom line thinking, which shows that CCP is the best party, and Chairman Mao is a great leader at that time, and you watched it, so you feel moved because these soldiers sacrificed themselves for the such great political goal for CCP, and then you are inspired. You want to be part of them once it's necessary. So this is kind of brainwash, and also this is the way that how Xi Jinping implants this kind of bottom line thinking to the Chinese people.